Hello everybody, Ben Rogers here, the Raptors Digest, reacting to some wild Toronto Raptors news. And as most people that follow this channel know, Riker and I have been on the Ben Simmons bandwagon, thinking it'd be a cool addition to pick up for this team. Obviously not to play at the point guard position because we've known how much he struggled in that area, but to play at center. If you want to see those takes and all that, look to previous videos because this is not a positive video regarding Ben Simmons and the Philadelphia 76ers and us promoting that sort of agenda, because the Raptors, it's come out that they're one of the only teams that have had serious trade discussions with the Philadelphia 76ers, so they're already involved. Masai Ujiri's watching our videos, but that's not even the take of this video. We're going to go live tonight and preview the draft and what the Raptors may do. We'll talk about all that in that draft video, but this video is just a rant. It is a rant of me saying that the Philadelphia 76ers have to stop being crazy. They have to get off whatever they're doing. Daryl Morey has to just chill out on how he values his players, because I get it. Daryl Morey's a good GM. He wants to get the most out of his players, especially where Ben Simmons was, dripping in potential, even just last season. But after this year's playoffs, you have to give in that if you're going to trade Ben Simmons, it's going to be at a discounted price, because that guy didn't take layups. This guy, he's not a jump shooter. Everyone knows he's not a jump shooter, but he wasn't even taking open layups, open dunks in the paint. His confidence was shook, all this, that, and whatever. But they put Ben Simmons on the trade block, and then they had the audacity. They had the audacity to offer this type of trade to the Toronto Raptors, which obviously the Toronto Raptors declined. Fred VanVleet, OG Anunoby, and our first round pick this season being the fourth pick in this year's NBA draft. That was the core of the deal. I've seen other things reported that Kyle Lowry would also have to be added to that trade in the Sixers trade request. That is absolutely absurd. That is, Daryl Morey is coming in here and insulting the Toronto Raptors with this trade offer. And I know, I get that Ben Simmons was once a number one overall pick, and I think he could be very valuable for this team, but he's buy low. He's buy low. He's selling Bitcoin as if it were already to the moon or something, or Dogecoin as if it was already $1, but now it's down at 10 cents. This is not something he can be asking for the Toronto Raptors, and I just wanted to make this video because I know that Riker and I, we've caught some flack for making the argument why Ben Simmons would be a cool fit. Not at this price. Not at this price. I'm not giving up OG in any Ben Simmons trade. I think OG's value is up there just at a whole nother level. He brings everything on the defensive end, but he actually has a jump shot, while Simmons may have the passing ability and stuff over him. I don't know. I'm a big OG guy. The fourth pick would be a central asset in a trade for Ben Simmons. So the fourth pick alongside Fred, on top of OG, on top of maybe Kyle Lowry, that is absolutely absurd. And I just want to get my thoughts, my rants out on this one right here, because I don't know, this trade would not make any sense for the Toronto Raptors. It would make zero sense. Pascal Siakam, question marks with his three-point shooting. The reason you bring in a Ben Simmons is because you'll surround him with shooters and maybe you can play him the same way Giannis does down the stretch of games, running the center, being able to play that Marc Gasol high post sort of position. I still got this tweet up here, but that's the reason you'd make a trade for Ben Simmons. It's not to have him do exactly what he did for the Philadelphia 76ers, and then instead of Joel Embiid clogging up the paint, it's Pascal Siakam. No, that's not what the Raptors are going to do. That's not why we're going to trade Fred VanVleet, who was a finals MVP vote, earned a championship, earned a finals MVP vote. That's not easy pickings. That's the max of what we'd probably give up for Ben Simmons, and that's just because we're very bloated at the guard positions, right? I'd honestly think talent-wise, all this, that, whatever, I'd be hesitant to give up Fred VanVleet on his own, but just in terms of fit, and then the fact that we could draft Jalen Suggs, that's the reason that Riker and I sort of said, okay, a deal centered around Fred VanVleet could kind of make sense. You move Simmons to the center position, maybe you keep Lowry at that point, then you're sort of talking. But Fred VanVleet paired alongside that fourth pick, which is the reason that maybe Fred becomes expendable, right? Alongside our really best trade asset in OG Anunoby, just the defensive versatility, all of these things. Daryl Morey, you are gone nuts. You are gone crazy, and this is built off of what happened during this trade deadline. right? The Toronto Raptors, they offered Kyle Lowry, who is a multi-time All-Star, who could have given the Philadelphia 76ers that presence they needed at the point guard position, a guy that we saw Chris Paul do for the Phoenix Suns. Kyle Lowry could have came into Philadelphia and ensured that if Ben Simmons' confidence dies or shrivels up the same way it did in this year's playoffs, right, he can sort of play in the dunker spot, not have to run the offense and these sorts of things. Kyle Lowry can man that, make sure Kyle Lowry's a leader. He's a true point guard. He's not no George Hill or Tyrese Maxey that's, either a young guy or just a player that kind of fades into the background. I know George Hill's a killer with corner threes, but that's all he really did when he was the Milwaukee Bucks playing against the Toronto Raptors in the playoffs. But Kyle Lowry's a true leader. He's a dog. He would have ensured that Simmons' confidence wasn't thrown down the toilet. He would have fed him in the dunker spot. He would have ensured Joel Embiid was getting his touches there in the paint. He would have been the perfect fit for the Philadelphia 76ers. I guarantee they don't lose to the Hawks, and honestly, they probably don't lose to the Philadelphia 76ers if they made it there, or to the Milwaukee Bucks if they made it to the Eastern Conference Finals if they had Kyle Lowry. So the reason I'm going on this rant is because Daryl Morey didn't want to trade Kyle Lowry for Tyrese Maxey, Matisse Thybulle, and a couple picks, right? The Sixers championship window was this year. They were the first seed in the Eastern Conference. The Nets, they were banged up left, right, and center. Kyrie was in and out. Harden was in and out. KD's in and out, right? No one really knew what was going on with the Milwaukee Bucks. They were only the third seed. They were seeing if it would work, and obviously they got things together at the end, but they were really just a half an inch away. KD stepped back from going to getting knocked out in that second round. So it's the window was there for the Philadelphia 76ers, and they messed up. Obviously, it's going to be tougher next season with everyone coming back healthy in a normal schedule, but Kyle Lowry is going to be essential for that team or a player like that. So you've got to value these guys properly, and they didn't want to give up two guys that weren't win now and a couple picks for a team that's going to be drafting in the 20s and 30s. They were being dumb. They were being stupid, and we saw how it all played out. George Hill is no Kyle Lowry. He can't do these things. He couldn't command the offense. Tyrese Maxey did his best. It would be an intriguing young prospect to develop in this 905 system, or maybe he wouldn't get pushed down to the 905, but in the Raptors development system. And obviously Matisse Thybulle, he'd be the centerpiece in this trade, but none of those guys are Kyle Lowry. None of them will ever be Kyle Lowry. I don't care if Kyle Lowry's 40 years old. Those guys aren't going to be that Kyle Lowry level of player. So they messed up big time, and we thought they were being greedy, this, that, whatever, and it nipped them this season, getting knocked out in the second round to the Atlanta Hawks, who really had no business being there, despite the fact Trae Young was remarkable. And not to discredit the Hawks roster, but they had DeAndre Hunter injured. They had Cam Reddish injured. They had Bogdanovich playing on one leg. And they still lost to the Philadelphia 76ers, who were relatively healthy. That's, Danny Green was out, NBA champion, don't want to disparage him, but that's embarrassing. If you're a Sixers fan and they had the nerve to be greedy, they bit them in the behind this season, and then they have the audacity to come out with this type of expectation for Ben Simmons trade. I don't know. I think it's absolutely foolish. And as I mentioned earlier, as I showed on a graphic earlier, I got the animations playing, but as I showed in a graphic earlier, the Raptors are the only team giving serious talks for Ben Simmons. They're the only team out there that's willing to give an offer. And, the Brogdon and the first, people are saying to the Sixers, why are you not accepting that? The Raptors can definitely offer something reasonable that's a lot better than Brogdon in a first. And then they have the nerve to come out here and offer this sort of package to this Toronto Raptors team. I'm insulted. We were the ones leading the way for Ben Simmons. And if this is going to be how the Philadelphia 76ers are going to play it, get out of here with this blasphemy, this cheese that Daryl Morey's on. I don't know. I'm making this video ranting, and it's not really a coherent take. I'm on my lunch break on work, and I just had to get this take out here, especially before people get in their minds that this is what we're talking about when we want a Ben Simmons trade. But I don't know. We'll get more in depth, probably actually get some realistic or some things that we'd actually accept if we're Toronto Raptors fans or Ben Simmons, because it does seem like the Toronto Raptors have serious interest in this guy. So stay tuned to the Raptors Digest. Subscribe to the channel because we're going live tonight to preview the NBA draft, see what we're going at. I know Jalen Suggs is a guy we've been talking about a lot, but Scotty Barnes, his name has creeped his way into the top. Evan Mobley, we'll see if we trade up for him, actually. There's so many rumors to break down. The Raptors also hired assistant coach Earl Watson, so we're excited to go live, get a couple lives, and Riker and I have decided we are going to go live for the first 10 picks, so definitely if you want to get in that live chat, check the previews, subscribe, get the bell notification to the Raptors Digest, check out Courtside Digest for all the other news happening across the NBA. Anyways, I apologize for a little bit of an incoherent video, but I'm just fired up looking at these reports. So you guys are the best to make this fire. Check out the Instagram, the TikTok, all that cool stuff. Planning on getting those two things back rocking this week. So rejuvenated Raptors Digest. We're going to be bouncing back next season. Anyways, I'm fired up. You're the best to make this fire. Cheers.